Alright, I think it's working. How's it going, fellas? Alright. Let's see how well I can read that way down there while flying. You know what? Maybe I can move it up. Good morning to you. Alright, I'm going to be trying this Leviathan. It is perfect timing. Alright, we're going to see how well I can read chat while flying this. I've got my screen, my chat as like a kind of semi-transparent window that sits in front of my gaming monitor, basically my virtual screen that's in front of my face. So this is the Leviathan, for those of you who haven't seen it. There's the entrance to it. It's basically a gigantic upscale building, and it's an entire city. So, well, I don't know, there's like 12 buildings, something like that. So it all starts in the warehouse, you go into that building, then the barn, then that building over there, then the next, and the next. End up in the church. There's like a crazy church tower drop where you have to drop down through the center. Next building, next building. There's a drop. Then you gotta follow the way over here. I'll be trying it today. I've made it into this building, the final building. And there was a tiny little window I had to come through. Am I ready to fly a real chopper now? I don't know, maybe Sky King style, but not well. Alright, we'll get this started. It's probably, this stream is going to be me dying 100 times, something like that. I want to go for maybe hour and a half, and see if I can get anywhere close to finishing it. I've never finished it. I believe there's only like 4 or 5 people who have finished it. It is a tricky bastard. Already hung my tail, it's not a good start. My tail fin hit the ring. Flying a little bird today. I can show you guys here for a little bit. I really suck at flying in third person, so I doubt I'll be doing this much, but those fins on the back can hit the rings if you're not precise enough. But as long as it doesn't hit the tail rotor, it doesn't like actually hang you up, then it doesn't do any damage to the helicopter. Around the fire suppression. Oh, I do feel I hung my rear ring on that one. Alright, well that wasn't bad for getting a warm up, but I still wasn't even out of this building. So definitely not great. Alright, turning the anti-collision lights on. That means I'm not allowed to collide with anything, right? God, I gotta find some music. Maybe I'll try and find some, should have done that prep before this. Maybe I'll try and find some copyright-free, I don't know, 80s synth or something. Kind of kill me because I'd normally be jamming right now, but it's on the stream I can't play copyrighted music. So I gotta find something that's would be good and copyright free to play. Alright. Down the stairwell. Around the corner. I don't have the smoothest line through this one, because I end up having to whip it this way. So I do this, and then continue on. There is a better way to do that, but you have to be able to hit that window and then bang through. There's that window there. Instead of the doorway. And you can bang through into it pretty easily. Maybe after this run I'll try and find some music that's DMCA free. I feel like that's a hard thing to do, like on the fly. I should have done this beforehand. Pretty much. So how they made this course is it's a full-size chopper, but they upscaled the whole, it's like 2,500% or something like that, so the buildings are gigantic. But it makes you feel small. It's hilarious. Because there are drones in Arma, so you could do a similar course as this, but actual size. But this is the other way around, gigantic town. It's like that episode of Rick and Morty with the giants. Just checking the beanstalk action. Alright, we finally made it out of the first building. It's one of like 12 buildings that are in this course. So we're, in theory, 1/12 of the way there. These are the only straightaways in the whole thing. I would totally watch that crossover, though, of like Toy Soldiers and Toy Story. It was Toy Soldiers, right? With the Gungans, right? And then the the G.I. Joe guys. That's a good movie. I'll rewatch it. It's been like 10 years since I've seen it. Alright, made it out of the second building. And this one doesn't really count because these two, like, go together. So I flew through the third building there. Now I'm in the fourth building. Now I go back to the third building. Back in the third building now. I gotta get better at flying in third person. I just suck at this so bad. But I feel like it is more action shots going through a lot of these rings. Alright. First of two alleys that are kind of intense. This one's the easy one. Alright, we're out of the third building, we're in the fourth building now. Because of all of our switchbacks, we are now leaving the fourth building. Alright, here's the alley. This alley has been the death of me 1,000 times. I don't know, probably not that many. I probably have somewhere in the ballpark of like 100 runs in on the Leviathan. Trying to do this run, this obstacle course. But it's been around for months and months. And typically I do it to like warm up. So a lot of times haven't been like quote unquote serious runs. Today I'm trying to get it. We're trying to get the Leviathan. I'm gonna tame this beast. Alright. I believe we're heading out of the fifth building now into the church. This church contains a death drop, so we got to be on point for that. Climb our way up the church steeple. So the drop is in the center here. You go through that window, and to my left here, through the center part, is where you are dropping down. You can kind of get like a sneak peek of that center shaft there, where we're gonna have to guide that helicopter through. Alright. In here there are some rings that are missing. I don't know what happened. He like rolled back an update, like a layer got messed up on the map or something. There's supposed to be rings like up here. And the only reason that really matters is down and to the right, there's like some invisible walls. I found that out the hard way. So you're nice and safe if you're way up here. Down and to the right is bad. Alright, here we go. Back to the climb. Alright, here we go. This drop is crazy. And the arrows are lies. Oh no, no, no! I caught the edge. I think I might need to spin into it from the other way. Dude, those rafters are not fun in there. Jeez. Alright, so that tower, how can I do this? I can't really draw. I guess you can see me. That tower comes straight down, and there's an arrow that points you out a certain direction. But if you pull up, at least in my experience, if you try and pull up and go straight out, you have too much speed to do that. So you either need to come down and then do like a little swirl and then go out, or if the arrow's lined up straight ahead, if you come down and go to the left side of the arrow and then swirl into a right-hand bank and then peel off more speed, then you can go through that in one go without like having to readjust at the bottom of the tower. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think I gotta try that. Alright, that wasn't bad for the second run, okay? We made it halfway down the church tower. That's like probably halfway through the course. Once again, for those who haven't seen it, this is the Leviathan. It's a gigantic upscaled city. And we made it about halfway. We made it into that tower there. That's the ending. This little pad. You gotta make it through all the buildings and land on that little landing pad. I've made it into the final building, but I've never actually completed this. Until today, we're gonna try and slay this beast. Alright, third run. Oh shit, I thought I was gonna play music, goddamn. I forgot. Do you play in 2D or some kind of virtual? So how it works is I'm basically that screen that you guys are seeing on the screen, so like a normal like PC style screen, but it is a gigantic virtual one that goes in front of my face, and it's curved, so it kind of curves around. So right now, like, there's one corner of it, there's the other corner of it, there, and up there. That's like the four corners of the screen. So it's pretty massive. Like, if I'm looking in the middle, I kind of can't see the edges. I can't see the four corners. So it makes me like have to turn to look around, and then when I turn, it also is turning the head in game. So I don't actually have to like turn my head quite as far as I would need to, if that makes sense. So I can turn my head like maybe 45 degrees. Like if I do this, I'm not truly looking at 90. I'm looking more at like 45, 50. But my character's looking at 90, so there is a little bit of acceleration through it. It's basically like head tracking, like it's basically track IR. But instead of like having a normal size monitor, I have the monitor the size of a bed sheet that curves around my face. Ooh, I definitely hung my tail on that window. I did not mean to bank on that angle. That little fin part on the bottom of my tail grabbed the windowsill. That was a lucky save. That's what that was. Sloppy windows. Yeah, actual 3D would be a lot better. Like War Thunder. I do like there's aspects to the so right now I'm using virtual desktop to get this done, and I use that instead of like the MetaQuest Link, which does like a similar thing. But the virtual desktop is nice because I have pass-through. So everything that is not that giant monitor in front of me, I can see. So if I look down at my hands, I can see my hands. Like I can see the world in front of me. I can even like read my phone, I can text and stuff. Like it's very good, but it's all like a digital version of the real thing. It's kind of crazy actually. But yeah. I really like being able to look around and see, versus if it was like an actual 3D cockpit, unless your controls like one-to-one matched what was going on in the cockpit, then like me reaching around for my keyboard, like I'd have to do it blindly, versus now I can just look down and see my keyboard. And so there's definitely pluses and minuses to having the full virtual versus this I would call like half and half. This is like augmented reality flying, not virtual reality flying. And then there are advantages to being in like the virtual space. So like normally I have a second monitor and it's like further down here, but because I'm trying to do this racetrack and it's hard to read chat and like look straight down, like I can't do that, but I can kind of read it and keep my game in the peripheral if I move it up. So like right now my chat is sitting like halfway in front of my screen. It basically covers that lower windshield section in front of me, and it's like a transparent monitor, and so I can like see through it. So I put the chat in night mode, and then basically all the letters light up, and then the black background is like chromed out or like deleted. So yeah, I think it works well for this kind of dual action. I don't know what you would call it. Alright. Out of the third building and into the fourth. But we gotta go back to the third. Not going for the fastest time here. Some kind of reading chat and stuff. Duty metas baked in remote PC access. Instead of PC linking setup similar way path through keyboard. VD is probably better. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. Virtual desktop definitely has some quality of life features that are nice. Like that makes it easy to add more monitors and remove them. So I can have up to 3 monitors, and I'm not sure how that works in the Quest version. You add extra monitors and stuff. Yeah, there's still no timer on Leviathan, so if I do make it, I'd have to clip it and look back. Yeah, it's Heli Flight School. It's the server. Oh, geez, I'm too close. That's what I get for reading chat. Alright, let's get more serious here. And maybe less serious. I don't know. I would need to... I guess this would be an old school silent silent stream. I'm gonna have to do research off stream to do what music I can play. Sorry, that was a dumb way of saying I can't put on music right now because I'm not sure what I can play. That would be worth the time of looking at putting on without doing the stream. Yeah. Oh no, it's not your fault. I was just getting sloppy with it is all. Came in way too fast for that one. That's funny. Okay. Let's try that again. But this time not take such a ridiculous angle into it. So though, for those of you who don't know, in the Heli Flight School server, in the chat, if you type hashtag repair, and then the space, and then followed by a number, the number is how many meters in the air you go up. So you can bring yourself up to 1,000 meters in the air, or you can just go like 2 meters up in the air. Dark is the night. Oh, I do like Dark is the night. Alright, here we go. I'll have to write that one down. I've been trying to screenshot more and more of when people do song requests. I'll like screenshot, and then when I'm looking back and trying to find music, I'll look through my screenshots and see if anyone has made requests. So I'll have to write that one down. Wish I could play it for us all now, but I'd get DMCA's. I don't understand. I wish you could play, like, okay, so I'm doing a YouTube stream, like, through YouTube, right? Not even, like, dual streaming at this point. I wish you could play stuff from the YouTube library, like, watch stuff on YouTube. Not even, like, content. But, like, a music video, you could have, like, the actual YouTube music program, as far as, like, the... I don't know, it's like a different site. I don't even know what to call it. There's YouTube Music, and then there's YouTube, right? So I wish you could have, like, YouTube Music plugged into your stream, like a side panel, where if you play YouTube Music from YouTube, like, directly in your YouTube stream, that it wouldn't, like, ding you for it. Like, I think that would be a good system. Also, there's this weird new thing. So when I post videos, I do it from mobile so that I can do the YouTube music in it so I don't get struck for it. So I just find the song on YouTube and do it that way. But if it's over a minute long, then you can't put music on. But you can do shorts up to 3 minutes long, right? And then there's like an AI song maker or like background music maker where you can tell it like, give me like epic war drums or like, you know, something like that, and it'll like generate AI music for your clip. But that only works for clips that are also a minute long. Like, I think if they really wanted to push this weird AI music thing they're going for, they should make that where if you use that on a clip that is, you can use it up to 3 minutes long. So now all of a sudden you can put music onto longer clips again. But I think just about no one uses it because I think that it also makes it so that you don't get any money from it. It basically like demonetizes your clips for auto-generating crappy AI music for your clip. And so I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know why they're doing that. Doesn't seem like a good business model overall, and like no real advantage to using it, so that's really weird. Dude, these courses are no joke, I'll tell you. Like when I first started flying, like I was very excited when I got through the red course. So, you know, don't put any don't make it seem like it's not a thing. It's definitely a thing to do any of the courses on Heli Flight School if you can get around them. Like, good on you, because I definitely have not completed all the courses. I've done maybe like half of them. Yeah, well, it's not like really like a DMCA's you. It like it takes your monetization. It's basically like, well, since we supplied the music for you, we're we're not gonna give you the revenue from the video. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's not like YouTube pays a lot either. But maybe that's because YouTube is my smallest platform. Like, maybe in the next couple days I'm gonna hit like 100,000 subscribers on Instagram. and I've got like 30 something on YouTube. I think I actually almost have more Facebook followers than YouTube followers, which is crazy because I do so much more stuff on YouTube, like this live stream, for instance. Yeah, honestly, like, even the entry level HOTAS is like so much fun. Like, I can remember the first time I ever used a HOTAS at my aunt and uncle's house. They were really into Microsoft Flight Sim, and I remember doing that for like hours, going over there and visiting them as a kid. And they definitely started my hook on flying games. They also had an old NES with Top Gun, and I would play the hell out of that game too. So that flying game also had me pretty hooked. That is old school right there, if you guys want to see some old school flying games. I'm gonna date how old I am there, I guess. Alright, slow and steady we go. Got the crashing part dialed in. Yeah, that's the Leviathan for you, man. I wish that this thing, so I think that there's only like 4 or 5 people, I'll have to check the Discord. I think there's only like 4 or 5 people who've actually completed the Leviathan. I wish that there was... So I wish it was like this with all the tracks, honestly. Wish there was a total attempts. Because it's got to be in the thousands at this point, if not like tens of thousands of attempts of this that different people have made. And only like 5 have made it through. I think that's crazy. That's something that I'm gonna maybe add in the suggestions of Heli Flight School's Discord, because they actually are really good with the modding stuff. I want them to add an attempts counter, because then it would also show like people like Juicy, who do have the top time, but then like the attempts counter would be like 10,000 times for Juicy, because that dude rips. But he goes so fast that he like smashes, like that, smashes into walls. You have a whiteboard? Alright, so in that church, those rafters, what happened there is those rafters stick up a little bit higher than they actually do. So there's like, part of the model actually sticks up too high. And I accidentally hit the invisible part of the model. I could say I just hit the rafter, and hell if I might have, but I definitely know that those have collision issues in there. That's normally why he has those rings in there. But for some reason it got rolled back. Ugh. Alright. What is this? 6th, 7th attempt? Something like that? We almost made it to the church drop again. He should change it to, of course, it's Juicy. Juicy's a machine. That guy is like precision on another level. Because honestly, like, this is fun what I'm doing in this game with the head tracking and the HOTAS, but honestly, it is. It's probably not the best way to be playing it, if that makes sense. Mouse and keyboard, I think, has advantages even over controller. Because a lot of controller things you can hit with button presses. But with mouse and keyboard, the way that you can go from like 100% left input to 100% right input nearly instantly makes a huge difference when it comes to those like high levels of speed in all these racetracks and stuff. That I think that it would be hard to compete with like juicy on mouse and keyboard versus juicy on a controller versus juicy on a HOTAS. I feel like he would probably, if he had as much time in on all of them, I feel like he would always do better on the mouse and keyboard. Just because of the nature of the inputs that happen in this game, and there's not stuff like torque limits. And, you know, in DCS, if you were to go from full left input to full right input instantly, then you would, like, rip the wings off the aircraft. You know what I mean? They sacrifice precision for speed. Yeah, basically, you can be more precise. And, like, it's really, like, smoothness. Because when you do it on the keyboard, it's like you can kind of tell it's like choppy when people fly. Like you can see the input presses when they change them, especially when they're doing like micro corrections, because you can like see the how fast the input happens. Basically makes like really aggressive like micro corrections. And so in some ways it's nice, and in some ways it's not. But you can tell that it's just like not nearly as smooth as the HOTAS. And I feel like it's 1,000 times more fun to fly this way than on mouse and keyboard or controller. So that's honestly why I'm doing it. I just think it's like way more fun. It like pulls you into the game. You're now like a part of this heli and not just controlling one through a computer, you know? So I haven't really talked about it much, but normally I have like low USP heat pads. So I upgraded my foot pedals with these little heat pads. But I have them off right now because I'm making like a little slot thing for them to sit in that will like screw to the pedals. And so my feet are cold as hell right now because these pedals are like aluminum pedals. And they just suck the heat out of my feet. It's winter here, so they get cold. I think that's one of the more ridiculous and funny upgrades that I've done to the chair. I really kind of want to get, there's like this USB hub that has like mechanical switches to turn the USBs on and off, like toggle switches. And I really want to get that either mounted to the left side or the right side where I can reach it. And I'm not sure if I will have the HOTAS stuff through it, because essentially that's like kind of always on. I can just like fold it out of the way and it doesn't matter if it's on or not. But all of my like USB accessories, like I could have my little fan. This fan here, I could have that on a physical toggle switch. My heated foot pads, I could have that on a physical toggle switch. Is this built into the game itself, or is this a mod? Looks fun to play. I have all the stuff to do it other than the game itself. So how this works is, like, if you just download Arma Reforger, it's basically like a sandbox milsim game. So there's the game itself, and there's like a bunch of stuff in the base game. But then there's like a huge modding community around Arma. So this is like a particular server, and it's one of the more easy games when it comes to mods, because it's all like supported through the game. It's like through the game itself. You're not downloading stuff from like a weird sketchy website and having to like load that into files on your game. No, you just click multiplayer, click on the community tab, and then search for whatever community server. So this one is Heli Flight School. So all you would do is search in the community tab for Heli Flight School, and then there's probably like, I don't know, like 10 gigs of mods for this particular one. But a lot of them are like common shared things, like there's a bunch of helicopters that are widely used across servers. But even stuff like these rings are a mod. And then this map that someone has made, like this obstacle course, like all of this is a mod. But this is like a server that is hosting a collection of mods in a particular way. So there's like a bunch of different servers that do a bunch of different stuff, including just like a normal battle type game. This one is has stuff like this where it's basically helicopter obstacle courses. They also have like a PvP area, so there's like a lot of different things you can do within the servers if people like make their own server. And there's like some crazy ones, like there's like role-playing servers. It's like GTA roleplay, if you've ever seen that, but it's like narco roleplay where they have like different crops and stuff that they have to like grow and like pack into product, and like a whole server based around it, and then buying and selling. And then there's EMS and police helicopters to come chase you down and all kinds of craziness. But yeah, short answer is this is a mod. This is a modded server, but this is one of the better games, I think, for like money per value you can get. To say if you like War Thunder's like free to play, right? But really you have to put like a bajillion hours in to even get to where you can fly helicopters. And then even then you have to level up different helicopters, and if you really are like into it, you're gonna spend like money. And a lot of people buy a lot of stuff in War Thunder. But in Arma, you just buy the game. All the mods are free. Like you want a different camouflage, like, oh, here's like 500 different ones from different militaries around the world, from different eras, that you can add to your server. So if you want to do a Vietnam one, perfect. You want to do a Cold War one, perfect. You want to have this country versus that country, perfect. Like, there's so many different mods out there, and all of them are free and community supported. So I think that Arma is honestly one of the best bang for your buck as a gamer that's out there today. It's like the opposite of a gacha game. Alright, staying high enough above these this time to not impact the invisible wall that surrounds them. Alright, made it through. That's one of the worst, like, invisible wall areas. He used to have rings in there, but it got, like, rolled back or something. I'm sure they'll be back soon enough, but for whatever reason, those rings are missing at the moment. Alright. Let's just see if we can just, like, spiral down and see where we end up. So if I do a left to right insert, I'm still like too close to that edge. I need to do like more torque coming into it. Let's try, so there is a spot where you can try the church tower. You got Elite Dangerous just for the VR thing. Yeah, there's some sweet like VR elements in games, and like War Thunder does do pretty legit with like the VR aspect. But I kind of hate how games just like make you pay so much for so little, I guess, when it comes to like, if a game made a platform where people can add in mods and like mods be like more of the thing, and then people can host their own servers and decide what mods they want to use in their own servers, then like it weeds out all the fun stuff like for you. Like basically you don't need to develop your game because the community who has all these amazing ideas can develop it for you or help you develop it. And I feel like that's a lot of what like Bohemian Interactive is like embraced with like DayZ, and how that like evolved from a mod itself and now is like its own massive thing. Like DayZ is so much fun. That's definitely the most hours I've ever had in any game. Alright. So this is just, I just want to practice this. See, I need to come in closer to the wall and get my nose down further, so that by the time I'm halfway down, I can nose up more. Let me practice this tower like once or twice more, and then we'll do the full thing again. It stinks getting this far through and then dying on the tower. So for those of you who haven't seen, this is the Leviathan. Giant upscaled city. It's not tiny helicopter, it's giant buildings. And it makes it so you can fly around and practice heli as if it's like a drone course. Me hanging my tail rotor again. But just hung the hook on it. Alright, so I gotta get my nose closer to an exterior wall and then nose down faster. Ah, see, I can't get that angle quite right. I feel like I need to spin into it more. Let's try that one last time. One more practice try and then we're having to do it for real regardless. I feel like the times I've done it more successfully, I'm like, I get a little bit more rotation in it to keep me more centered. Alright, last time on the practice run with this church drop, and then we're doing it for real. So, yeah, he set up this one spot where I'm at now. This is basically to do exactly what I'm doing, practice the church drop. So this is outside the regular course. And then I'm dipping over this wall into the real course, joining the course about halfway through. Oof. See, that was almost it. I just have to pull up a bit more. I think I've got it. But yeah, I feel like spinning into it helps keep me centered in the space. Alright. For those of you joining us, this is Leviathan or Bust. Trying this in the Little Bird passenger variant, because that's what I have the most time in. There is a Little Bird that is supposedly more nimble than this one, but I find I make more errors with it because I have less flight time with it. Alright, so far today we've made it to that church drop twice, which is about halfway through the course. I feel like that church drop is one of the harder things, if not the hardest thing in the course. So once we get to the far side, it'll just be like a staying alive, ride it out mission. Coming up to the fire suppression. I really should have taken the time to find some music to put on. This is killing me. A lot of times I listen to podcasts too, but I think that'll also get me copyright struck. Oh shit, the railing. I cut that too wide and hit the railing. No! Alright. I feel like that was the first time I've ever hit that railing there. I must have been way out of line. I've hit that light. I've hit the other railing 1,000 times, but that railing might be a new way of dying in the Leviathan. Okay, well, I'm just hoping I can get past the church. Heyo, how's it going? Good morning to you too. We're trying Leviathan runs. Not in a tiny helicopter, we're in a giant city. Giant collection of buildings, I should say, I guess. I think there's like 12 or 13 buildings. And only like 5 people have ever completed this course. Sooner or later, it's going to be 6. Why not be me? I think I'll be the first person to have done it with a HOTAS. If that happens. I think. I gotta go back and double check. Feels like an RC helicopter. Really, it's like Jack and the Beanstalk City. Flying in the Little Bird today. I wish I could show you guys more third-person shots like that, but honestly, I am really terrible at flying in third person. There's my last helicopter. I hit that railing. Alright. Ooh. Dipped way further down than I normally do there. But we got through. That's the important part. I keep telling these guys in heli flight school that they should get some of the drone mods going. Like, if you... Alright, so if you could... I don't really know how the layers in Arma work, but if this whole thing over here is a layer, and it's like... I know all these buildings are upscaled by like 2,500% or like something crazy like that. If you were to downscale them back to like this whole layer, so all this whole course back to normal size, and so then it would be like all these rings normal size, then add in the mods from like the Spearhead server or the Riverband Ranger server or something that have the drones in them, and then do this with the drone mods. And I think that this would be hilarious. I died in such a anticlimactic way there. out of chat and into the game. Oh, I was reading chat there. Anyone tried both Arma 3 and Arma Reforger? Curious how much difference or better it is, or is currently still flying on Arma 3. So I have heard from a lot of people that that Arma Reforger is like Arma 3 dumbed down a bit. Basically, it's more forgiving on landings. Like you can hit the ground a lot harder. And so a lot of people find it a lot easier to do flying on Reforger than Arma 3. I think that that's true. I think that it's a lot easier to get into flying on Reforger than Arma 3. Like it's a lower barrier to entry of like, I want to fly supplies from A to B. Like you can get those skills within like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of flying. Like you can get it down pretty fast. But being able to just land supplies roughly in the size of like a football field versus being able to like pinpoint target somebody or pinpoint rocket strike somebody or like land vertically down through the trees in a crazy hot drop are like different things in time. Or like the Leviathan here. Like when I started playing Heli Flight School, I thought like, okay, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff down. What's this? Oh, cool tracks. Let me try these. And then just got smoked by like every single racetrack because of how intense they are. He's gonna end up passing me. Especially if I do my weaves and stuff. Like that. That is unnecessary. It slows you down. That was all me. I won't blame that on the railing. That railing does have a higher hitbox, but even if that hitbox was in this normal spot, I still would have smashed into it. That was all me. Oops. Trying to get my head centered. I feel like I wasn't quite centered on that last one. Yeah, I would say that Reforger is definitely worth it. I don't think they'll be disappointed. There's, you know, like something that's just like a bunch of mods mashed together. There's times where like a server will have so many mods that it doesn't work right, or have like issues or glitches and stuff, but this really is like a diamond in the rough. And even with all its blemishes, I love it so much. Because it is just like people doing what they love of like, I love making helicopters in video games, and so then people like make mods of like 100 different helicopters that are in this game. And even like the little bird, there's like 15 different variations of just this one helicopter, different Arma, like different loadouts, all kinds of stuff. Different armaments. There's a medic one where instead of seats on the side, you have two like litters, two of the like medic beds. It's crazy. There's all kinds of crazy mods, but it's I think it's well worth it. Even if you don't jump into doing the modding yourself, just being able to like mix and match, and you can go like fight bots that are all Russian bots with whatever helicopter you want to in a private game by yourself if you want to. Like there's infinite playability out of this game, it being like a sandbox that it is. So I think it's worth it. Now, other games that I will probably want to try. War Thunder is coming out with an infantry update, and that really intrigues me. I'll have to see once that like goes live what I can do. I'll probably have to like buy my way in to get a helicopter, because I'm not leveled up high enough in tanks and planes and War Thunder to get the helicopter. So I'll probably have to buy my way into the helis. But I think that might be really fun, because that will be like way more true VR. DCS looks fun, but I don't like the lack of actual infantry players. So I probably won't hop into DCS anytime soon. But the War Thunder infantry update, I might hop into that, and then Hell Let Loose has a new game coming out where it's Vietnam. And if that has support, and even if it doesn't, because when I first started flying in this game, it had no support. I have my ways. Then I might try and fly helicopter and Hell Let Loose as well, because that game seems really fun. I think that though they could do infantry really well, because I've played a decent amount of, what's that other game? Enlisted? I actually really liked Enlisted. Enlisted is a fun one if no one's played that. It's basically like a World War II game, but instead of just controlling one person, you control a squad of people. And those are like AI bots that follows your main person that you're controlling. And at any time you can switch between any of the people in your squad. So you could have like one person in your squad that's like anti-tank, and one person in your squad that is a sniper. And then you can be sniping with your squad while the squad like holds down the building around you, and then you see a tank, and then you can switch to your tank guy and then shoot with it, or just tell him to like do it automatically. So it's a really fun blend of like real players and AI players. Hell Let Loose is coming out with Hell Let Loose Vietnam, and that is going to have helicopters. And so when that drops, they've been doing like a bunch of gameplay trailers. So the current Hell Let Loose is World War II, so that was pre-helicopter. But the next one, Hell Let Loose Vietnam, helicopters, baby. It'll be interesting to see how they do it, because like in Vietnam, only one side had helicopters, so I'm not actually sure what the helicopters will be like in it. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But the trailers look amazing. The dreaded alley. I've just gone too fast over this lip too many times. Now I always try and take it slow right here. Sometimes I end up taking it too slow like I did that time, but I've gone too fast too many times right there to keep making that mistake. Hope it's not Roblox at least. You don't. Well, I feel like they won't go to a lower, just because of how Hell Let Loose like currently operates with its vehicles. Like you're not even, as a tank gunner, it's not like, or as a tank person, it's not like War Thunder, where you drive the tank, shoot the tank. Everything is all through one player. In Hell Let Loose, like one person is a driver, one person is a loader, one person is like a commander person who can like pop out of the hatch on the top, and one person is the gunner. And so it's like way more of like realism brought to gamified things. And so I kind of hope that they'll keep a realistic approach when it comes to the helicopters as well. I mean, we can almost guarantee that like the gunners on the side will be real people. But as far as how they fly, yet to be seen, I guess. But because of the way they've treated their tanks, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. Squad is another one of those that I've always kind of wanted to jump into. But it seems hard to be able to build up good. Like, how do you practice in squad? Like, in squad, you need to be in an actual game to, like, do it. Like, how do you get good at doing it without doing it and crashing 1,000 times? Well, in Arma, if you want to get good at doing it, you can do something like I'm doing right now. Do obstacle courses and fly around by yourself in a private match. You can play on your own PC locally and just mess around. Like, all of my first streams are like messing around with HOTAS for the first time and just like learning how to fly and trying to do that in a fake game before I went into a real game and actually like got someone killed because of my incompetence. No, I wanted to be like good before I even got in the game. Ooh, no, I hit the wall. Okay, whew. Skid hit the wall, but we're good. We made it down the church drop. Alright. So, we made it onto the back half of the course. That's more than half the battle. You can believe it. Yeah, that was a pretty good save. I liked that. Definitely scraped the scraped the stone wall with my skid on the way down. Alright. Okay, bunk beds soon. So the bunk beds are also one of those things that... Oh no! I hit the... Of course I would. Why wouldn't I hit that? Why wouldn't I hit that cabinet? Alright, so the bunk beds are one of those that the texture's messed up too. Where you gotta go like a little bit bigger. No more talking. Oh, you can practice in squad by yourself? Get the wired field of view going with your VR. Interesting.
Yeah, you can practice in squad, by the way.
Crazy.
Commands you can go ahead and input. Look it up on YouTube.
Gotcha. I'll have to look into it. Because, yeah, squads always look dope.
Yeah, you can't practice in squad by yourself. It's a little bit rudimentary. You just gotta like type in different commands and stuff like that instead of maps.
Gotcha. Alright. I'll have to look into that.
Check it out, but, like I'm telling you, with the VR features you have, you probably have a big advantage compared to other squad heli pilots because of the view model.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I'm gonna go die.
Good luck. Alright, let's see if we can't tail his butt. But yeah, doing this in a Huey is... I've seen Lost get pretty far in it, but it is no joke. I'm not a big Huey pilot though, so I've done like a decent amount in the Huey, but I'm more of an MIA guy myself. I like the rocket capacity. Way higher in the MIA. Oh, did I hurt anything? Doesn't look like it. Definitely took my blade off the railing on the way down. I think it was just a little kiss, so it didn't actually hurt it. Now I heard it. Alright, let's see how he makes it through this window. Oh, and I hit the blade while watching him. Can I even watch him? Let's watch him. Ah, no, I can't watch him. Turn on the engine. See, that's the thing about doing the repair command, is if your engine stops, then you have to restart your engine before you crash into something. Jesus. Not always as easy as it sounds. Alright, here we go. I really need to get some music on. This is killing me. Alright. We can do it. We can do it. Easy peasy. Leviathan is intense because it's not just hard, it's like medium hard difficulty over a very long period of time. So it's something where it's like you need to make very precise inputs for like 10 minutes straight, 15 minutes straight to get all the way through it. And it's that, like, you need that consistency. It's the consistency that is the key in the Leviathan. Because anyone can do a short clip of like, whoa, I flew between those two trees. But I feel like the Leviathan is like the equivalent of flying through every single tree in the forest without hitting any of them. Just from like the raw consistency of how much stuff there is. And variation on all of it too. Alright. Officially out of the first building. All that is the first building of like 12 or 13. Into the second building. You know, I'd say that the barn is the only building that I actually like. As far as this track, because I feel like I die in the barn the least of all of them. It's just long straightaways. It's the only place in the whole course where there's really long straightaways. And of course, as soon as I say something, I dip into the water. But I do like a really good forest line.
Alright, go, go, go. This is your rescue mission.
Alright. Hopefully your rescue mission doesn't end with us smashing into a wall and dying in a ball of flames.
Yes.
For some reason, I think that it will. You made it pretty far with that, Huey.
I had to chew down to go around the window. It wouldn't fit through the window.
Yeah, the window. I was thinking to myself, how are you going to go through that window?
Yeah, the top of the stairs there. Yeah, I had to go around.
Slow and steady.
Hey, I'm gonna leave you to it. I don't want to stream snipe too much. You have a good day.
No
See you
worries.
later, man.
Take it easy, guy. Oh no. I wish I had more stuff to say to him. I would have been more talkative, but I'm gonna smash into stuff. You're a good pilot, Bird. I don't mind. No one else is chatting. Might as well be you. Out here trying the hard stuff. Putting the Huey through the course. But he's right though. There's a couple obstacles where you have to be in the little bird because of how small that window. There's just no way of getting the Huey through it. Alright, got into the alley, okay. Alright, got out of the alley, okay. That alley's probably taken me down more times than anything else in the course, including the church tower. Yeah, I'll have to look into squad, like he said. I didn't know that you could practice with the helicopter in a squad game. I thought it was something you had to learn on the fly from everything that I had seen. Ah, new update is what changed that. Gotcha. That makes sense. Alright, back to the invisible area. There's invisible walls around these 45-degree angle poles and down to the right. Kinda gotta fly right where I'm flying. Used to have rings there, but back or something. Slow and steady. We're not going for the fastest time yet. We're just going for a completion here. There's only been like 5 people that have completed the Leviathan. I need to double check that, because the last time, that's how it was. I can't imagine very many more people have passed it since the last time out. No! Oh, no. Alright. This Leviathan's kicking my butt today, fellas. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Maybe my best. Like it always does. Clean the old glue off from where my heat pads were. My little foot uh-oh. Here we go. Alright. Time to go to White Course. Oh my gosh, White Course is another one of my unicorns. Not been able to finish White Course either. Oh my gosh. Cut it too wide. I'm just getting worse now, aren't I? Boom. More people are in the game now. There's a few more people in the PvP. I might go try that. I hope I don't hit my own tail rotor on that stupid thing. Music time. Like free DMC music. I probably should, honestly. It's gonna have ads and stuff in it. I'm not sure if that'll matter.
The AI Toolkit is live on Artlist. Every leading AI tool you...
Getting an ad. Not too loud. We've been playing DCSUs for some time. I tried to Arma last night after seeing my shorts, and it's hugely different beast. But I have purpose now. I did set up my sticks, but it felt a bit delayed. So there is, I don't know if you watched my video on how to set them up, because my video is kind of dated at this point. There is a newer way of doing it. So my older video, I'm just going to turn this down just a hair. So my older video, I bought that yesterday and some getting used to it. To use view chargers, kernel, etc. To use website that configures it negatively. Ah, gotcha. Okay. So basically, I use a custom HOTAS configuration, but the only thing that I have in my HOTAS configuration is the 2 sticks and the foot pedals. So X, Y on this, I got my throttle up and down, and this left and right. So there's basically 4 things that are going into a custom HOTAS config. I didn't use the Delta thing because that wasn't around yet before, like when I set it up. I used like the old school, there's like a YouTube video put out from Arma that shows how to do that. But then I would have set everything up through a custom HOTAS configuration. But number one, it makes it hard to change things on the fly. So if you're just testing things out of like, how do I want to do this or that? This was right when I got these new joysticks, so I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to place all my buttons yet. It made it really hard to figure out where to place my buttons. So I decided to just do the axes through a custom config, and then I use Joystick Gremlin, that free app that makes it so that I press key presses with the rest of my buttons. So instead of it being like a HOTAS press that is going to a HOTAS configuration, that then does like talk in game. I'm actually have it. Joystick Gremlin is making my joystick press the T button on a keyboard, and so that's how Arma recognizes that it's me doing key presses. So, long story short is I use custom HOTAS configuration plus Joystick Gremlin to do all the different things, and it makes it easy because say if you join a server that has a mod that you've never used before, so for example King of the Hill has a custom mod that there's a eject all passengers button in your helicopter, so when you land you can get everybody out really fast. You don't have to wait for their little animations of getting out. So anyways, you can like remap that button on the fly, and you don't have to like remake a new custom HOTAS configuration and place that into your Arma files just for the one new button press from the one new mod. Yeah, I don't use YouTube enough on my PC to do an ad blocker. Typically, I watch YouTube on my phone. Alright, out of the first building. Yeah, no problem, man. DCS looks like a ton of fun and like way more detail and like precision of a game. The thing that keeps me from jumping into DCS with like jumping in on both feet is the infantry. That there's only like AI infantry, so you don't get that big 120 person battles where you have 60 people on your team screaming into the mic about the airstrike you just did and that kind of thing. You know, it's just you don't get those moments when there's not the team around.
Or weirdburpeecult.com for your weird burpee cult. Whatever your dream, a Squarespace domain and website is
get another Squarespace ad.
All in one place. Get yours before it's gone.
It's a no ad
Make
blocker.
it real for 10% off your domain or website. Terms and conditions apply.
Nice little free Squarespace ad for Squarespace there. Expect my check in the mail, Squarespace. Just kidding. Firefox and Unlock Origin is the way. It's super easy setup. Oh, thanks. Hell of a pilot. Thank you, man. I'm just busy wanted to do more than fly. Yeah, I get you. I hear you. Star Citizen looks amazing, but not quite too sure. about that as well. Sure, scripts and enemy AI planes. For PvP, added some into it. Got a few logi. Interesting. The only game you have a chance of flying a helicopter in is maybe Rust. You know, this is honestly, Arma Reforger is easy to jump into. I'd say of like Battlefield might be the only thing that's like easier to jump into, and it's honestly very similar controls if you're on a controller. Battlefield I think is easier just because there's no like rotor collision for the helicopters. But it's very similar as far as how they fly around. Arma Reforger is one of those where I feel like the barrier to entry is very low. Like getting to a point where you can fly around, can shoot at stuff, can deliver supplies, only takes you a couple hours in game to like get really proficient with something like that. But the like nuances of what takes forever. The doing this track, what I'm doing now, the Leviathan, like you gotta have some serious control over your helicopter to make it anywhere close to all the way through this course. And like I still haven't made it all the way through this course, and I'm definitely not the best. I'll be the first one to say, but I have a ton of fun playing this game, and I think a lot of people like to see the HOTUS and like to see someone have fun playing it. So as long as you guys keep watching it, I'll keep it down. Ooh, Rust helis fly like old Battlefield Bad Company 2 helis. Ooh, I've never flown in Rust. I played Rust a little bit, but I've never actually flown in one of the helis. But Battlefield Bad Company 2 is like my favorite game of all time. That is the GOAT game. If I had my way, that game would have just gotten more and more maps, more and more... Like, there's no reason to have another game. Give that game all of the updates. Like, the graphics were honestly good enough. I wish that video game would have gone from good enough graphics. What happened is they went to insanely detailed rooms and like trash and clutter and all the stuff you see in a Call of Duty map. I want Battlefield Bad Company 2, but all that computing power, instead of used on all the trash on the floor, I want you to put 150 more players in it, 200 more players, 300 more players, whatever. Like, I think that there's a point where graphics are like good enough, and all other computing power should be used on the experience and not how it looks visually, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm gonna be too fast. Oh, yes. Too fast. I'm gonna, as long as I'm not too close to the wall here, I'm gonna show you guys what my optimal line would be. Graphics are irrelevant for gameplay. There used to be a game on PlayStation called MAG. It's like, I don't remember what it stood for, MAG, but it was like 250 people in a match, and this was like PlayStation 3. And I really wish that the gaming industry would have gone more in that route of like massive experiences versus Call of Duty level like graphics. Okay, so here's my thought on this, right? As you come down, you can come down if you're facing exactly the opposite direction of the way I'm facing now. If you're facing this way, you can start pulling up right after this beam. So you can pull up and do one of these actions to make it down and through. When you're like facing straight on, you have so much less time to actually pull up through this church tower. So the next time I go through, I might whip it to the other side instead of whipping it. Let's see, I guess it would be from left and down to the right. That's the way I've been doing it. What if I went from the right and then down to the left? And when that changed, by the time I got to the bottom, would I be facing out the right direction again? the more power we get from the PCs, the more lazy developers get, and think optimizations aren't needed anymore, sadly. Yeah, I honestly think that that's a big part of it too. And like, so much of the visual stuff accidentally minimized my virtual desktop. So much of the visual stuff like doesn't matter at all. Like, when's the last time you remembered like a sweet moment from back in the day in like Call of Duty or whatever your favorite game is, and you're like, yeah, that trash on the ground right next to the A objective, yeah, that trash like really added a lot of immersion for me. No, like no one remembers the like extra million polygons that they use to make the trash that is on the ground of the game. And it's...
Some people just don't get it.
I would
But
rather have it
Squarespace
all
isn't
be
just for
bare
websites.
bones textures
You can get a
and
domain
focus
for
on
Squarespace,
that
too.
computing power
It's
on
kind of
getting
like
more
how your
people in
parents
the
don't
match.
get how you make a living off your art, but you do.
I'm saying
And
Battlefield
domain
Bad Company
like
2,
existentialglitter.com
from
and
there,
a
if
website
they
for
would have just
Squarespace.
focused, like, because
You
at the
can build a
time,
brand for
Battlefield
yourself. Grow your client
didn't
list,
have that
and
crap in their
continue to
maps.
confuse your parents
They just
all
had
in one
like a
place.
building. It was more or less an empty
Get yours
building,
before it's
but there
gone
was
with
sometimes
offer code
objectives in
Make
it,
It
and you
Real
could
for
destroy
10%
that
off
building
your
and it would
domain
fall
or
down.
website.
And the Call of
Terms and
Duty
conditions apply.
had shit in the buildings instead. But if you hit the wall with an RPG, it's not going anywhere. Well, Call of Duty is still like that, and now Battlefield is less like that and more like Call of Duty. I want there to be something like that, the old school Battlefield Bad Company 2, but with like 300 people in it. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I'd love it so much. Sorry, that's my rant. Alright, all repaired. Yeah, you have 50,000 hours in WoW and no one remembers the trash on the floor in front of... Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's how it goes. Like, no one... I feel like the game developers are putting shit into, like, the flashy looks. And even before it was selling cosmetics, it was just, like, how things look. I don't care how they look, man. I care how they play. Let's do this. Probably only got like 1 or 2 more tries in me before I'm gonna have to fade out and do something else. I'm getting a bit antsy being in Leviathan this long. I normally only ever give this thing like 2 or 3 tries at a time. So my ADD is starting to get to me here. I want to get down past that church drop again. It's at least my goal before I get off. Get past the church. Kind of like Dynasty Warriors. Hold on, let me get past these. Looks like garbage. So much fun to play. Yeah, that is really why indie games are taking off so hard. Like, people are getting back to the fundamentals, for sure. So, like, another game that while we're talking about just, like, random games and stuff that would be amazing. So, okay, so if you were to take Halo 3 today, which, like, by no means is, like, bad graphics. Halo 3 is, looked great. Especially at the time. But if you were to take Halo 3 and merge that with that old school RTS game, Halo Wars, where you were basically controlling everything. It was like StarCraft. You guys have seen StarCraft 2 or StarCraft, like that kind of game. If you were to merge those two games together, so there was either like a commander mode who was like commanding everyone from God mode and saying like, hey, you troops go here, you guys go there, there's a flank coming this way, you gotta go there. Like, you're doing all the RTS stuff, but then you can switch of like, oh, I'm gonna move up with my Spartan, and then you could switch and do an FPS with the guy, like the actual people that you are commanding from above. And like it would totally work if you were using like dumbed down graphics like Halo 3 graphics on today's PCs. Like you could make a Halo Wars with playable characters, and either like a single player mode where you're like switching between the two and doing the two yourself. But imagine an online mode where like, okay, maybe there's like, because not all of the people would have to be real people, but even if they were all real people, you have like 100 versus 100 maps with one commander on either side who is then like calling the shots of like gives your objectives in real time by playing an RTS with actual FPS players. Sad RTS is dying. StarCraft isn't even ELS anymore. Oh really? ESL? I didn't know that StarCraft dropped out of the esports leagues. And like honestly, I feel like a lot of games are missing out on like a dual nature aspect, I guess. So I really feel like there's only been a couple games that have done this well. Like there's a VR game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where the person in the VR headset sees a bomb, and the person who's on the TV, because this was like a PlayStation game, I think you can also get it on Steam, but you have like your normal PC monitor hooked up or your TV, and so there's a person on the TV who's using a remote control. And so there's one VR player and one remote control player. You guys are working towards the same objective. And the remote control player in that game is basically has the manual, and they're like telling you how to defuse the bomb. But then you can't see the manual and they can't see the bomb. I feel like there needs to be more stuff like that with VR and RTS and FPS and MMO and matchmaking, you know, like I feel like these things all are such separate and siloed things that there really is some cool opportunity for there to be like a, I don't even know, Godzilla game. If a Godzilla game came out where the only way to play as Godzilla you had to have a VR, whether it's like PSVR or PC VR, but then everyone else is like playing an FPS on their consoles or on their PCs, like shooting at Godzilla, and then like the one person's rampaging as Godzilla. Like there's so much opportunity to do some really cool like mixed platform stuff, and even get like mobile games in there. Like if all of this stuff connected, I feel like there could be some really cool like, mixed use cases for their games. Yeah, Arma is very appealing like that, because you can do that. You specialize in whatever you want to do within the game itself to help the team. Have an indie dev make that. No committee is gonna do it. Big dev company gonna do it. RTF FPS hybrid. Yeah, that's probably true, but man, it would be sweet. Anyone who's played Halo and has played StarCraft would like love a crossover between like those two playstyles. At least I know that I would. Like, I think that would be amazing. Like, could you imagine if StarCraft, that was like the next thing that Blizzard put out, is a StarCraft game that was an RTS where you could FPS with the Space Marines? Like, you could be a Hydralisk in an FPS? I think that'd be amazing.
person who knows things. Things like you can get a domain from Squarespace, not just a website. Well, now you are that person, because now you definitely know you can get a domain from Squarespace. Something like whisperingbloom.com for your silent retreat. Or
I mean, they are
they
so in the same vein, it's crazy. StarCraft and Helldivers. And even more so, I guess, is like Space Marines in that same vein of just like very much so about like we need to save Earth from the invading hordes type of thing. Very like political in its own ways. There's a lot that is like so very epic about StarCraft that a lot of people didn't get to see or play through because it was an RTS, and RTSs aren't for everybody. It's a little bit more of a nerdy style game than an FPS. So I feel like if they brought FPS to StarCraft, if they merged those two worlds, that could be very lucrative. Yeah, Zergentas. Just traumatize a whole new generation with, we require more minerals. Alright, here we go. Oh wait, hold on, I said I was going to do the other way. We gotta put on the brakes. Alright. No, I'm facing the wrong way completely now. So yeah, once I smashed that, okay. So it's confirmed. I had the right way, I was just not spinning good enough. Swapping to PC. Alright. Let's see if... Yeah, it's 9. It's after 9. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, this will officially be my last one, I think. Yeah, dude, that drop is something else. But now I know I gotta spin into it. Go from left to right as a downward spin. Because otherwise, yeah, I won't make the turn. You need to go out the same way that the arrow's pointing, but the better way is to go out. So if the arrow's pointing straight, if you pop out that left side, there's even more room to pull up earlier. It's definitely, that's the hardest part in the course. So like once you make it past that, then it's just like, don't mess up. Every time I've made it past that today, I've just flat messed up. So one of these days, I'm going to complete this course. It looks way better not on a phone. Well, that's good, I guess. I feel like I keep messing with my Arma settings. I'm trying to find that sweet spot between... Like, if I crank it up higher, it looks great, and I get good FPS. It's not too bad, but I don't have enough, like, overhead on my PC to keep it from having like hiccups when there is a lag spike. So like right now, if you look at the top, I have those on so that I could try and monitor this and get a little better. I'm only using like 58% of the GPU. But then a lag spike will come in and it'll be much higher. And so I'm trying to get it to where my game looks good, graphics-wise. Oh, well, thanks, man. Glad you guys like the setup. Oh yeah, man, no worries. Glad I could inspire somebody. Oh no! I shouldn't have been reading chat. Alright, that can't be the last one. We'll do one more. The real last one. This roof is weird. Some of these like flat out don't work. There's like nowhere you can place them. All right. Yeah, I'll probably like make a video and show it. Probably, I'm about to hit 100,000 subscribers on Instagram. I'll probably edit up a little video and show the current gaming setup build a little bit closer in detail, because I do have one, but it's older now. The current setup, and then where it's going in the future. And even though this game does not have telemetry, so if I had a chair that moved, this game wouldn't move it. If that makes sense. If you had one of like more real cockpits that move around, this game wouldn't work with it. But War Thunder does. War Thunder's having that infantry update. There's a couple other things. Plus Arma 4 is coming out in 2027. I'm not beyond hoping or begging Arma devs to put telemetry in. So I am maybe 3/4 of the way through collecting the metal that I need. I'm gonna make this chair spin 360 in 3 axes. So it's gonna spin in a complete circle, like a cartwheel. It's gonna do complete backflips and front flips. And it's going to spin around like a top. So those are the 3 axes. And my goal is going to be about a 2-second rotation. And I'm going to try and do it all like, so you can buy something. So like most of the things you can buy nowadays just move a little bit, and they're really good for what they are, but they're really more for like a car sim, because you don't get those rotational axes. You can buy like carnival style rides like from Temu and shit that are like $15,000 to $100,000 that do the 3 axes. So these are things that you can buy. But they're, like I say, 15 grand on like the low end. And this whole setup started as, how cheap can I make a sim rig? Well, I made this one for like 250 bucks, the original version. Then Vipril sponsored me with the set of sticks. So it's like even more badass for sure after that happened. But all of that was like, you know, a man, a welder, and a dream. And I figure, hey, why can't I do that with with the 3 axes moving ones? But yeah, car, you only need so many movements for sure. You're not doing backflips in a car on the regular. If you are, you're not driving that car correctly. Sir, this is a Wendy's. But yeah, I want to get a 3-axis moving thing. The most expensive by far is gonna be like I'm gonna figure out how to program this. Either like hire someone or like literally vibe code it. I don't think it'll be that hard. The hardest thing is gonna be getting the appropriate motors at the appropriate gear ratios. Oh no, I'm gonna hit. Okay, whew, good save. So at this point, there's two schools of thought that I'm going with. I could do more legitimate, and it's somewhere about like $1,500 per motor. And so that would be at least 3 motors, possibly 4 or 5, depending on how much weight those secondary ones can do. Because basically the first motor is just moving the chair. The second motor is moving the chair plus the bracket plus the first motor, and then the third one is moving the chair, the first motor, the second motor, the first bracket, the second bracket. So it might need more motors the further down the line it goes, or at least more powerful motors. So that's option number 1, is to run some worm gearbox motors that are like legit, and those are going to be like expensive. They'll be like $1,500 a pop. Option number 2. This one would be more complicated, and I'm more wary of that because there'd be way more moving parts, literally and metaphorically. But I was thinking used e-bike motors. So the bigger the better. So something like Suron motors, or like 72-volt motors. And then literally putting those and then wiring those more or less like in line with an actual wheel on it that interfaces with a like tread part of the sim rig. So basically it would be actually like a little mini e-scooter tire type of thing on more or less a bigger wheel that would then be like pushing and spinning that around. And the advantage to that is I could get 2 or 3 motors, hook one motor up and see like, okay, this isn't enough torque. And then hook 2 motors up. And then, okay, yeah, this is enough torque now, like it can keep up. And then on the next one, like, okay, now because there's extra weight, I can do like 3 of them. And so the advantage there is like if I could find something like all these like city bikes and like all these different e-bikes. If I could find like an e-bike scrapyard where it's like motors without a home, the rest of the bike got damaged, here's like the e-bike motor. If I could get my hands on like, I don't know, 15 to 20 used e-bike motors, then I could wire up a battery bank, and then like car charger style charger to power the thing, and then that also solves the other problem of if I did the worm drive gearbox motors, they're going to probably have to be 240 volt. Might be able to get away with like doing 20 amp 120 volt ones, but I definitely don't have 320 amp circuits in this room to be able to do that. And so that becomes like a whole nother challenge of how do you power 3 of the worm gearbox motors versus if it's all DC, I could have a huge battery bank and run them all off of 20. 20 of them might spin out of existence. might just. But I don't know. At this point, if I could get it to happen, I think that the e-bike motorway would be cooler, because then that would also give me the possibility. The other thing that I really want to do this summer is hook my PC up to, so there's ways you can do this. Basically, you hook your PC up, the output of your PC sticks goes into a handheld RC flight controller, and a lot of handheld controllers have it so you can hook 2 different controllers together. That way you can have it's called like a trainer. So like you could be flying it around and someone else could also be flying it around just in case you're about to crash, they could take over for you. So if I had a flight controller. I could hook up my PC as the trainer, and then my wife or a friend or somebody be there physically, because there's some FAA rules that you're supposed to have in eye contact. So have someone there on the trainer just in case, but then fly around an RC helicopter with the HOTAS. So that's like the other aspiration that I would like to do, and it would be sweet to be able to combine those two things. So if I did the e-bike way and had battery backups and had it all running off of DC, then I could literally throw all the components into the back of my truck or on my trailer and drive it to the little airstrip where there's RC air stuff that can go down, and fly around my RC rig with a full motion simulator. So I think, oh my gosh, I was so close to getting it. I was waiting for that. The board that I ended up hitting was going to whip out, but too vertical. Hit it. Not in the cards today. Well, 2 hours in and I didn't get much past the church, so this was a bust on Leviathan. It has conquered me once again, but it will rue the day. It will see. It will come to regret the day that I couldn't get through it. Yeah, that drop is not to be taken lightly. All right. Well, fellas, it's been fun. Maybe one of these days I'll finally conquer the Leviathan, and I don't know, I'll have to go look back on the numbers on this live stream if this is something that I want to try and do more of like the racetracks and stuff in here. Because this was pretty fun, just vibing and doing this rather than trying to hot drop and while talking and that kind of thing. Although that is fun too, don't get me wrong. I do most of my time playing this game is doing hot drops and stuff like that. So anyways, you guys take it easy. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll catch you out there.